Wisconsin 106, and we are in love with playing good tunes for you. Oh yeah, lots of them, especially during the Connell Cedar Shack Happy Hour. It is Jimmy Buffett on Wisconsin 106.
To San Francisco.
So yeah, I was driving through back in 2008, 2009, I don't know when, and I heard the station. I'm like, that is the most pathetic sounding station I've ever heard. It was kind of bad. Yeah, and the music and the presentation was pretty horrible, and I felt sorry for it. and so I kind of looked around and to see if maybe the thing would be for sale, because I can help it, and I don't know, maybe I put it in an offer and it wasn't, it was just kind of brushed aside, whatever. And then I read a while later, it was sold to Nick, and I'm like, oh, dang it, I must not have remembered that I wanted to buy it, but okay. So then after a while, I got talking to Nick and talked to the old owner, Heidi, and finally put in an offer, and Bob made it happen. So really, it was a honestly, I felt sorry for it. It's like, I want to help this station sound a little better than what it's currently doing, and so it worked out great. And one of my wishes was that, like, I'd like to own a station that you can play in Wisconsin Dells, because I love Wisconsin Dells. Maybe someday they'll play my station at the water parks or something. And so that in 2013/14, we bought it and got some new equipment and brought Bob in and made it happen and had some fun. I owned it for 6 years, so yeah. And Marcus is doing a great job taking it from here. Yep. So I do afternoons. I'm not a morning guy. Early for me is 9 a.m. So yeah, I've always been an afternoon guy ever since I started in radio, pretty much back in 1984. 1984. And so yeah, I love doing afternoons, and not as much yapping. I just like to have a little fun, play a lot of music, and do my thing from 2 to 7. That's what I do. I don't know anything else. Yeah, we still, it's funny how we just hear about those little pockets of people listening. It's like I was at the dump way over in Waushara County, and I said, yeah, I used to live in, I used to own the Adams radio station. And he's like, oh, that's where I'm from. And I said, you ever listen to Wisconsin 106? Oh yeah, all the time. Just these little pockets of big fans of this radio station. And some of them have been there from day one, They like what we do, and it's pretty awesome. Sometimes it seems like we're family, to some of the listeners. So it's pretty cool.
You won't even believe how I got into radio. We bought a new business. Marcus and Bob came and introduced themselves to us at our cabins, and I talked to them and showed them around, and Marcus came back like a week and a half later and said, I'm looking for someone to work 10 to 2 Monday through Friday, no nights, no weekends. And you're the first person I thought of. And I thought it was to be secretary. And so I thought, oh, open mail, answer phones. He goes, no, to talk on the radio. Me? I never requested a song on the radio. And he said, you have the gift of gab and quite the personality, and I'm not taking no for an answer. Ta-da, that's how I did it. That's how I got in. I work 10 to 2, Monday through Friday. I'm the midday gal. And I talk when the computer prompts me, and I'll do anything from local events that are taking place. Sometimes I tell stories about what's going on in the community, and I can talk about whatever I want, and I do. Well, Marcus did send me to a morning show boot camp, and you go, and radio people are all personalities. And so I was very overwhelmed. Everybody's radio. But you know what? They were very giving. They would share their ideas with you, and they would encourage you to. They would just encourage you to that you could do this. And so that was very helpful, not only on the radio but also personally. I don't have anything to compare. I never worked in another radio station, big, small. I don't have anything. I just have a lot of support, like Josh and Joe Casper, and I get a lot of support. And Mark Erdman, he'll come in and he'll give me tips, and I learn. And this is interesting. I listen to the radio very differently. Like before, you just listen to the radio. Now I listen to all the how do they segue into from a song into a story or into something that's going on, and I listen to the radio very different now, and I steal a lot of stuff. I don't know about that. I will tell you, I do have the gift of gab when I'm talking to you. When I'm talking to people, I don't have a problem talking at all. When you're in a room by yourself with a microphone and you're not getting feedback, was that funny? Nobody's asking you questions. Did you understand it? I don't get any of that feedback. I'll stutter a lot. Because I'm overthinking things, and I shouldn't overthink things. But it's a learning curve, and I'm getting much better.
How I wound up at Wisconsin 106. Joe Deschler, who was running Radio 1 Broadcast School at the time. I kind of tipped him off about this station, but he kind of had it in his radar anyway that he was going to buy. And he called me one day. I was working at Count 97, WCOW over in Sparta, and had been there for going on 16 years. And he said, if I get this thing, would you want to come over and work for me? And I about worked every position that I possibly could at Cow. I'd done everything from office manager to production director, music director, did the morning show, the overnights, middays, every shift, boarded high school football games, boarded Packer games, did all that stuff. And wasn't much challenge left anymore. And I'd always wanted the challenge of going to a station and building it from scratch. And that really appealed to me. So when he finally told me that we closed the deal, I said, I'm there. Although it took us a little longer to close the deal than we initially thought. It was 10 years ago, last Friday, that I walked through the door of WCWI for the very first time. And I was going to help out the then owner, Nick Sagina, and do his high school football, and then I was also getting the property ready for us to come in and take over. And so that's basically in a roundabout way how I wound up here. Even though we didn't officially go on the air under Joe's ownership until January 21st of 2014. But I worked all fall doing stuff at the station, getting it in shape and ready to go, and here I am. And luckily it's in the area. I'm from Toma, originally actually from Warrens is my home. And I live in Camp Douglas right now, so if it wasn't for that huge man-made pond, it would only be a 15, 20-minute drive to work. Instead, it's 35 to 40. So here I am. Well, when Joe took it over, we were kind of a hot AC station, a hot adult contemporary. We were playing, modern stuff, plus playing a heavy mix of 80s and 90s and stuff like that. And when Marcus came aboard, he wanted to do something different, and I had always had in the back of my head, why not just do what everybody else tends to be doing and load up whatever music you've got into your system and hit play and see what happens. And that's pretty much what I did. We run a big mix of everything from the 60s through the 70s, 80s, the 90s, and both pop, country, classic rock, you name it. And I just mix it in, hit play. I tweak it a little bit as I go through the music logs, but that's what we're doing now. And I looked at what we had for an audience around here, and this is a huge retirement community in Adams and in central Wisconsin. And we were playing a format that was kind of going towards a younger crowd, when in actuality we had a listenership that was 45 plus. So I thought, well, let's play something to what they might like. And that's how we got here. Then when Marcus bought it, we mixed it up a little more, and away we go. Well, knock on wood, the offices themselves will probably move in sometime early September. We won't have the engineer here to start working on the actual studio until the day after Labor Day, but he's guaranteeing me 2 weeks, and he says in 2 weeks we can have it rolling. So mid-September, maybe late September, we'll actually start broadcasting. The address is now 179 South Main Street, and we're right next door to the Royal Bank. We are right on the intersection of the main stoplights in Adams. And once we get in there and get settled in and everything else, we invite everybody to come in, kick some tires, and see what we do. And you'll be able to do that through the window anyway. You'll be like a monkey in a cage.
Well, I've been in about 4.5 years only for an old guy, you know. I needed something to do after I retired, and I was kind of sniffing around a little bit, and next thing you know, here I am. You know, I used to, make a long story short, I used to tune into the old station in the Dells when I'd come up every week to my other home. And it was off the air.
Or a shop rag.
900 AM. Still called. Still country and western. They still use it. And it went off the air. A couple hours later, it came back, it's off the air. Drove me nuts. A couple hours later, it's off the air. So who can I call and figure out what's wrong with it? I called Van Genderen, who used to own that station in the 70s. I go, Bob, I got a question for you. He goes, I got a question for you. I said, well, mine's about radio. He goes, mine's about radio. I said, well, what's yours? He goes, never mind, what's yours? I said, well, your old station. It's off the air. It's been off the air all day. What would cause that? He goes, heck, could be 100 different things. He goes, let me get to my question. He goes, I'm brokering the station in Adams. You ought to buy it. And I go, you are crazy. What am I going to do with a radio? I don't know anything about radio. Just take a look at the books. So I took a look at the books. One thing that led to another, and here I am. And it's been terrific for me. You know, it's fun. It's a second career, I guess. Maybe you have to make money to make it a career, and we'd like to start doing it any time. But it's been fun, you know, and it's been good for the community, and I'm having a blast, and we're doing fine. So it's terrific. I'm here every week, usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you know, and I do a Sunday show from 4 to 7. We call it The Distillery, because we distill all of that music that's down to the stuff that I really like. Alt country and classic country and maybe red dirt music or Texas music and things like that. And we have a blast, you know. The highest streaming numbers in the station. You know, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We have a lot of fun. I get emails. I've got people that listen to me from all over the place that send me emails and stuff. It's very gratifying. It's fun, you know. A lot of them here. Thanks for playing. I like this. Oh, I know this guy because you play him on The Distiller, and of course I do. Know that the building we're in now is pretty small. It's adequate. We didn't have to move, but it'd sure be nice to have a little more room. And in our town here, there's the commercial district is taking a beating. Some of these storefronts are empty, so we were able to take a storefront pretty reasonably, you know, and buy it and fix it up. So it's big enough for us now. It's going to feel like a palace to us the first month, you know. And it's right on Main Street. We're going to be right in the window like they all used to be years ago. And we're going to have fun with it, you know. So it's going to be better for us. It's better for the community. You know, we've got that whole south exposure wall. We're going to put a big Mirlar logo on there, big as you please, and it'll be nice. I think the similarities in anything that I've done, because there are similarities to every business, you know. It's people driven. It's frankly personality driven. I don't mean hey on the air. I just mean the interaction with these people. I said to my wife, we've got 140 people here today. I know half of them by name, maybe 2/3 of them by name. I mean, I don't even live here. I've only been here 4 years. And they stop in the studio and say hello, or you meet them in the street and they recognize your voice. You know, it's very gratifying. And in these small towns, I don't know about all small towns, but certainly this small town, this is their station. I may pay the bills, but this is their station. They take pride in it, and if you do something wrong, they call you out on it. And if you do something right, they tell their friends. You know, it's been real good. As you know, we've changed our format right about 4 years ago, probably, and it's just gone through the roof. You know, it's just going. That wasn't me, by the way. That was Bob. But it would have been me. Yeah, but it needed a change. But people are just terrific. You know, I guess I'm surprised at how much I like these folks. You know, they're meat and potatoes people. You know, I don't like fancy people. I don't. And most of them. And it surprises me how attached I became to them. I understand them being attached to the station. I didn't realize how attached I became to them. You know, it's been terrific.